All right, update on the Polaris Express $100 two-stroke utility quad that's two-wheel drive. I bought this when it was non-running. I had to rebuild the carburetor, put a battery on it. The starter doesn't work. I'm going to address that probably in the spring. It pulls on one pull, so I can't complain on that. It has the original tires. It's does really good in the woods. I mean, we've driven from the house way up there into the woods through here, and we're just making a video here. It is, I'm not for sure the hours because it doesn't have a display on it. The racks are in good shape. I don't know if I was excited about them being plastic. It did have a crack right here and was really flimsy, so I used that hard as steel clay and squished it and formed it and pressed it up underneath of it, and it made it really strong. And I put these eyelet hooks so I can tie a deer down, and she did haul a deer out of the woods this year. These two strokes are a lot of pep. I mean, they will pull anything. It pulled me. I weigh 240 pounds, and my dad probably weighs 250. And two-wheel drive in low gear up a hill that was super steep. I mean, it's hard to judge on videos how steep hills were, but I mean, this is a pretty good grade, and it's steeper than this. But I mean, it does really good. We didn't spin tires. I'm sure in like a mud bog it'll spin. Probably wouldn't pull us, but it did really well. But for $100, and I'm looking for another one. I'm looking for the 400cc Express, and I believe most of those come with four-wheel drive. And I think that would be neat. And you can get them for a decent price because people are afraid of these two-strokes because they don't know that much about them, but they are simple. They don't have the valves in them, and they don't have any kind of timing chains or anything like that you have to worry about, or belts. I mean, they're like chainsaw motors, man. They rip. As long as you keep your oilers going, you keep your oil pump topped off, they do really well. And if you don't know if you're getting oil, there's a lot of things you can do to figure out if you're getting oil. You can always check the paper towel, old school methods. Put a white paper towel up against the exhaust and you'll get an oil residue on the exhaust. Obviously, the most obvious way to tell is the smoke. They smoke a lot. It does use the oil. You can also tell by that, but it doesn't use a ton of oil. It's hard to tell because it takes a pretty good reservoir up front in there, but they're really fun and they're peppy. It has a lot more power than a four-stroke 300. They will scream. When you want the power, you just hit it and it will go. It'll pull the front tires off the ground like it's nothing. So it's sport quad power on a utility quad, but it has that low gear if you're wanting to pull something. It does have a tow hitch. I don't know what the tongue weight is. I haven't read that. It should say here. Trailer weight is 885, 30-pound tongue weight. So a 30-pound tongue weight is about average for a ATV because these axles can't hold a ton of weight. Even the bigger ATVs aren't much more than 30 pounds. I looked at one today that was a 700cc Arctic Cat, and the tow capacity was like 1,000, probably 1,500, I believe it was, but the tongue weight was still 30. So it has the same tongue weight. The chain's in good shape. You gotta make sure you keep your chains lubed because it is chain driven, not gear driven. But it does really good. The bearings are all in good shape. All the lights work. I got my little gun rack on here. I think I'm gonna move it to the front and put like a carrying thing in the back. But we've got her out in the woods today, having some fun. Me and my boy Jonah.